And hello everyone, welcome back to another CSS tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be talking about float. Now the float property specifies how an element should float on a website. As an example, we can make an element, instead of sitting here on the left, make it sit there on the right via floating. As an example, let's just remove all of this. Let's create a p tag, put some lorem in here. Lorem times 2. There we go. So now I have a nice little bit of text. Then next to this p tag, I want to have an image that just contains this image.jpg here. So we just go here, image.jpg. We're not going to worry too much about the alt tag. There we go. Now this image, I'm just going to give in, I'm not even going to give it a class or anything. I'm just going to go here, select image, and we can make the width about 50 pixels. Then maybe a little too small, 300 pixels. A little bit too big, definitely 200 pixels is the way to go. There, almost basically where we need it. So now that we have this image, all we need to do, and we should just make sure our image is inside of this p tag, so it knows what to float against. And if you save this, you'll see nothing happens. But if we go here and say float, and we go right, then we'll float here on the right. Now let's move this image to before the text starts. And now you'll notice this image is floating here to the right, and the text goes to the next line before it touches this image. This is the power of float in CSS. We can do the same here by making it go to the left here by just saying float left. And now we'll do the same. The image will be here and the text will be here. And of course, if you wanted to, you could say float none. And then we'll start here at the end of the image. That is very much the basics of float. There's of course a lot more you can do with float depending on what you want to achieve. Some people wouldn't even worry too much about this. Let's say you just want two images next to each other. Then you could simply do this. And I'm just going to give this one an ID of 1 and this one an ID of 2. Then here we go. Images, that's perfectly fine. And then hashtag 1 float right. And now we have one image here and one image here. If we wanted to, we could go 2 and say float left. So now they will always float. And let's add a p tag with some lorem. And of course we should add these images inside of this p tag for the best effect. And now, because these two are floating, the text starts after this image and ends before this image. That's the basics of floats in CSS. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next CSS tutorial.